Hi, Bettina. It's just the two of us for now, which is kind of strange.
No, isn't it? Can you hear me? You can't hear me? Oh, maybe my microphone isn't working.
Okay, hang on.
No, I'm not muted. It still doesn't work, does it?
Hello again. I have a couple of things that I need to start for my sound to actually go through. And I wasn't muted. You weren't muted. What's happening? Okay.
Okay, it works now.
Yeah. Hi, Simone. Hi, Idoya.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, John. Hi, Cosmin.
Hi, Liam. Hi, everyone. Ilie, how's going with baby? All good?
All good. Excellent. We are in the last trimester. Still a few months to go.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I see nobody has any questions for this month's call, which is, I think, the first.
Maybe they will put during the flight, or who knows?
All the questions have been answered. We are ready for enlightenment. Bettina, what is behind you? Is a candle or a light?
Yes, it's a candle, sort of. Yeah. When I got married, we lit it, and then I never used it. I never burned it afterwards, so I keep it up there. And then I had given everybody a little heart with our initials on it, so I keep it up there. We're in our bedroom, so yeah, little knickknacks.
Okay. Do you still light the candle on special occasions or not?
No, because get it. It's really pretty, but oops.
Careful.
Oops.
That's funny.
Okay, that didn't work out as I planned.
Ilia, no more question from now.
Like, we're just gonna wait in silence.
No, this
Oh, there we go.
it's see-through. So
Hopefully you didn't break it. So okay.
No, no, it's fine. But it's so once it burns down, then that's it. So
Right.
I didn't want to.
Yeah, it looks really lovely.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I'm a little stuck here though. Okay.
Hi, Cosmina. Hi, Ray. Hi, Francesca. Hi, Prakash. Hi, Violel.
Hi.
Hi, Gert. I hope I said that right. Or not. Hi.
Hi, I'm Mireille, but my name is Geert somehow.
Ah, okay.
It's
You're
because
right.
on my husband's computer.
Ah, good. Hi, Bayang.
Hello.
Hello. Skype voice.
You're never going to stop laughing about that, are you?
No.
I'll see how long I'm going to stay on this thunder here. But it's nice to be here with you. Thunder and lightning.
Also, you're worried about power outages?
Yes.
Okay.
And the router and all that. Yeah.
Mm. Hi, Georgiana. Hi, Antonetta. Hi, Nicolette.
Everything okay?
Yep, excellent.
Yeah. Very good.
Hi, Ingrid.
I'm really up for some high vibrational, high quality hanging out.
I didn't get that. Can you repeat?
Oh, I was just saying that I'm really up for some high vibrational, high hanging out
Yes.
with everybody. I was really like, okay, come on, good energies. Yeah.
What time is it at your place, Nicolette?
7. 1 minute to 7.
Okay. So you must be in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, I'm in Europe. So what about you, Sam? Or what?
I'm 8, almost 8.
Oh, you're 1 hour later, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm in Holland. I'm from Holland. I'm Dutch.
Hi, Hoppy.
Hi, Opie.
I didn't get any notice from Inelia, but hopefully she has
Good
internet
morning.
access. Oh, there she is.
How are we today? Let's have a look. See how many people do we have today?
Just 19 so far.
Oh, okay.
We
Maybe
are
we'll
usually
wait.
33.
Right. Maybe we'll wait a couple of seconds, or minutes.
Mm.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Bettina. Hi, Pascal. Hi, Anna Anlo. Hi, Francesca. Hi, Cosmina and Ray. Hi, Doya. Hi, John. Hi, Prakash. Glad you made it today. Yay. Hi, Georgina. Hi, Ingrid and Nicolette. Hi, Dineke. Hi, Simone. Hi, Little Lightseed. Hi, Sam. Oh, Hopi, I have the Jeep. I had to take the Jeep today. All right. What else do we have today? Oh, Cherub, hi. And Joy, although her computer says admin. Hi, Larry. Hi, Bayang. Hi, Michael. Hi, Eliana. Hi, Julian. Oh, hi, Julian. I haven't seen you for ages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at Larry in a boat. Very good. Yeah, it's good to wait a few minutes, eh?
Yeah.
We have lots more people now. So, welcome to August. As we leave August, my goodness, I don't know about you, but things have been heating up so fast around here. It's been a little bit crazy.
That's a good word.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the year, at the end of last year, we talked about the split happening for us on this planet during August, September this year. And when I looked at it, it felt very strongly that it was us. We had to make that choice. We were the ones who had to really step up our game and really embody the new paradigm. Like, okay, no more excuses, no more stories, no more addictions, or even if we do have addictions to a drama and stuff, you know, put them on pause. Because really, quite honestly, this is it. We really need to embody the new paradigm. This is maybe what we were born for this moment in time space, so that we could embody the new paradigm and give this planet a chance. And not the planet's fine, but I meant the human collective on this planet a chance to step up and move on into new expanded experiences that don't involve all the low frequency stuff. There's tons of information that I could share with you about that. Why did it come about, and where did we start this experiment, and what did we do to make it happen, and all these type of things. But the fact is that today we really need to concentrate and do it. So there are technologies being used left, right, and center to recruit us to the low frequency engagements. Okay, so if you're having moments of despair or fear or just extreme worry, or one item in your life takes hold and it's just not letting you go, and it's like you could become a little bit obsessed about it energetically, especially if, when you're waking up or you're going to sleep, or moments of when you're not watching, don't worry about it. It's not you, but do make sure that it doesn't take you over. Okay, technology is patented, it exists, everybody in the military and government knows about it, and not everybody obviously, but people who in the patent office and and people who use it obviously know about it. It's not new technology. This has been on the planet for several decades now. There's a big thing like on the United States about how it was used on old people, homeless people, and young children in certain cities, and how it is to test it out and stuff like that in the 70s. So anyways, all that's coming out now, but the fact is it's out there, it's being used, and be aware, be wary, and know that it's happening. Know that it's just an attempt to recruit you so that you fall off the new paradigm work that you're doing, and engage at that low frequency level. So, for example, I'm pretty, stable. A lot can happen around me before I get upset. And then even when I get upset, I'm pretty good at, owning it, and then processing it and stepping out of it. Because quite honestly, all those low frequency emotions like fear, stress, or anger, all those are very uncomfortable for me. They create a lot of physical and emotional discomfort. So I work quite diligently to not get engaged. But recently it's been really tough. And last night, yesterday, and this was really interesting because normally I don't have a lot of sugar, if any. I have the organic maple syrup, and sometimes I have like candy, chocolate, and stuff that does have sugar in it. Most of the food that I eat is home cooked, so it doesn't have sugar added. And the bread that I usually eat is home cooked, and it doesn't have sugar added. And we have the bags of sugar are used for making cakes, and usually it's organic. The white sugar, the processed sugar, is used just for the hummingbirds, and it's pretty stable, and it's pretty good that way. Yesterday I had an ice cream float with sodas, and then I had a lot of chocolate, lots of chocolate. And I can't remember what else, but there was a lot of sugar ingested. And I remember thinking about it, looking at it, and then I got a tummy ache from it, which was like, yeah, she shouldn't have done that. When I went to bed quite early, but I couldn't go to sleep. And then I had this thought that something was wrong with one of my family members. And it just grabbed onto me and it wouldn't let go. And I was like, whoa, this is weird, because I was trying to go to sleep as well. And the stress and this, oh my gosh, it was like insane. And I was looking at it, digging into it, and I was like, wow, this is totally artificial, and the sugar obviously had some sort of effect that when you get blasted with these things, it affects you more. And I know that other things also affected, like the stuff we put in vaccines, and we were listening to a podcast saying, you know, the stuff they're spraying on the chemtrails, they have nanobots, and those are used to activate all these machines, and, you know, on and on and on. One of the things to remember, okay, is that you need to understand that this is not about being victims or helpless, which a lot of the information out there that people will tell you these things, they will totally tell you you're a victim and this is happening to you and blah, blah, blah. So one of the things to remember is, just like the example I was telling you about yesterday, two things. I chose to eat all that sugar, right? I chose to do that. That was my choice. I didn't have to. Nobody made me. I did it by myself, right? That was my choice. And then when the thing hit me, it was my choice to either go with it and get pulled into it and, you know, get taken away emotionally and mentally and vibrationally, get pulled into that nasty stuff, or what I actually did, which was to step back, process it, and be aware that it wasn't mine. By being aware that it wasn't mine, most of its power left. And I could feel all the emotions and everything, but I knew they weren't real. I knew this family member was perfectly fine, right? So those are the things that are really key in this moment in time. You're not a victim. I wasn't a victim yesterday, even though I got affected really, really badly. It was my doing. And then I got myself out of it, and I managed to go to sleep and sleep well. So that's one of the things. Remember that you are not a victim, okay? This is just those last attempts at stopping our frequencies from being powerful on the planet. And so even if it is something that's yours, right? Even if something had happened to that family member and I was sensing it, or I was there and I was able to do something, you know, even if that was the case, I still have a choice how to respond to that, because I am aware that our emotions and our thoughts are our own and we can do whatever we want with them, okay? So remember that it is your choice, like Ilia wrote there, stay high frequency, you know, it is our choice. And if we do fall, like I did yesterday, you have the tools. We have these tools, right, that I put out there for years now, that we can use to pull ourselves out of it. So we are empowered. We have the ability to step out of that. And then to choose differently. This week's exercise is about focus. You know, where's our focus? And sometimes, yeah, you know, we could be in a memory that is sad, or something happened that upset us, or somebody who was upset lashed out at us as a wrong target, and all these type of things can happen, yeah, in life. But it is our choice to decide how we respond to it rather than react. And so in this week's exercise, when we get sucked into those, and most of our day, probably 90% of our day is spent on little items like that, you know. I don't know if you do like Facebook or any other social media, but a lot of it is like that. It's like, woof, attention there, woof, attention here, woof, oh, that person's doing that, woof, that article is really cool, woof, oh my God, look what's happening on the planet there. It just pulls your attention there, and then how much attention do you have left for creating, right? And doing all the things that you want to do. So that's why in this week's exercise, we just pause and stop and look, where's my attention right now? Oh, it's on whatever, right? And is that where I want my attention to be? Because, you know, your attention, where your attention is what gets stronger, right? And I think it was one of my mentorees who said, it's funny how much resistance we have to spending time creating our perfect lives, right? We say, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I'll do this instead. And then you look at what are you doing instead? Yeah. What is it that you're actually doing instead of creating those beautiful realities for yourselves, you know, or myself or ourselves, you know, what are we spending our focus on? Some months ago, we had a review of what you have done and during the day, and that's one of the skills. I've heard it a few times. Recently I heard it on a podcast. I read it in a book. I think we have it listed on the web on our forum about magic, and I think that's where it was. But anyways, the skill or the requirement to review your day every night, right? And we'll probably do that next week. We review our day every night to become aware and conscious of what we're doing. And once you do it for a few weeks, you will find that naturally during the day, you're going to start reviewing what you're up to, what you're doing, which is really interesting. So as you spend the day doing whatever, right, you go, wait, and you start reviewing it as you go along, and then you have better choices. Oh, I choose to do this right now. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to read this book right now. I'm going to write that book right now. I'm going to work on my painting. I'm going to work on my project and concentrate. I'm at work, but I'm actually thinking about shopping right now. So I'm going to just, I'm going to concentrate on this code that I'm working on instead. So it's like, it's not about like the woo, stuff. When I did a conversation, an interview with Lance White last month, and he was, telling me about the splits and this and that, and it's like, it's not woo-woo. There's no woo about the splits. It's about what you choose, right? It's about what you do. It's about the choices that you make and make them conscious. It's about where your attention is every day. It's about what do you do when the low emotional stuff hits you? What do you do? Yeah, what do you do? And the choice is we stay high frequency. Yeah. And if we do fall down, we pick ourselves up, we dust ourselves off, right? And sometimes, I don't know if you've ever been in a bad situation and you figure it out, you go, whoa, I'm in a bad state right now. If you brush it off, it helps. You brush it off, it helps. It really does. There's a one of the cultural things here in the Makah reservation, the Makah Native American Indians, it's like the Makah Indian reservation, the website, right? But in Indian now it's like politically incorrect for a lot of people. But anyways, one of the things is when you're going through something bad or you're sick or physically unwell or whatever it is, you go up to the river and you brush yourself down with cedar the branches, right? You brush yourself off with cedar, and that's part of the ceremony for you to get better. And that's a very graphic way to put it. That's a very graphic way to say, yeah, I choose differently. Yeah. You don't actually need the cedar because I don't know if you're gonna find cedar near where you live, fresh branches of cedar, or a tree that you can borrow a branch and brush yourself down with. But that is a ceremony that literally illustrates what you're choosing. Now, I want this off my field. I want this off my life. I want this off my body. And I choose differently. I choose a high frequency experience. So that's been really, really intense. For us here, it's been really intense with Larry and I. We've we've been talking about couple therapy for a long time to learn how to communicate with each other, because we come from different backgrounds, different cultures, and different everything, language even. And so we decided to do this couple therapy thing And it was in the nick of time because we were losing connection. And by both of us dedicating time to it and learning things, and the therapist sends us tools and things for us to use, we've been able to weather these huge, intense waves of stuff that's coming our way. I know that I have had this situation many times where, because of the work that I'm involved with, you know, it's like, it's not that I'm targeted, but imagine a war zone where bullets are flying everywhere, right? And a lot of people stay in the trenches, so the bullets go above them. But if you're a public person, you literally step out from the trenches and go out where the bullets are flying. So it's not that you're targeted, it's just that where you are at a public level, there's bullets flying, right? And often, I'm pretty good at, you know, handling it, unless I eat sugar, like last night. But the people around me, if they have any type of open doors or problems, or there's lacks of communication or different communication systems, that will be used to target us, right? It's not that used as in victim aggressor stuff, but the bullets will come in through there. Because as I am a public individual, they become that, even though they haven't got the training or anything else, or even didn't intend for that to be their lifestyle. So they're there in my field of awareness, and the bullets come in. So yeah, don't think that, you know, because you have like a great relationship and you're very close and you're both very talented and you're both high frequency and working to stay high frequency and everything else, that you're immune to stuff happening, right? Know that you're still vulnerable because you have stuff, the other person has stuff, and any type, and this moment in time, space on the planet, there's bullets flying. So get support, right? Get yourself some support. It's not that you need it or that you're gonna fail if you don't or anything. It just makes it easier. Make it easy for yourself. And even if you don't, and you're not in a couple situation, and you haven't had any type of therapy or anything like that in the past, get yourself someone, you know, to get you through this year. Even if it's like, okay, so what do you want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about my day at work today. What was it like? It was actually pretty good. And you share, right? Why is it so important? It's because we are moving clearly back into our collective selves. The illusion of separation was intense. And in that illusion of separations, we're individuals and we cope and manage and do all by ourselves. As a collective, we connect, okay? Connect with other individuals at a meaningful way. And one of those connections, if you don't have like a friend that is at your frequency or that you can share with, or maybe you're the person everybody goes to when they're having problems. A very common thing in our forum, right? Because most of us here are leaders of our families, our communities and groups and healers and guides and teachers and even politicians and, you know, doctors and other individuals who have people who come for advice. And naturally, also sometimes just it happens. All of your life people come to you for advice. So this is the time to complete the circuit. What does that mean? Is that it's an equal flow in and out. And one of the ways in which you can do that is to get a professional, right? To listen to your day. And do it, because that starts that other side of the communication, right? The flow. It becomes a circuit rather than just one way you receive, or give. And moving into that collectiveness, yeah, like the discussions we're presently having, Walk With Me Now, And also we have the other tools that we are using. I don't think that our Walk With Me Now Facebook group took off. It didn't become very popular. But you know, we have several WhatsApp groups starting and separated by interest. We have the amazing discussions on the forum. So you know, use the communication, use the connection, connect. And then sometimes, you know, if you have a situation where you have, oh, there's an echo. Okay, so if you have a situation where there is, a lot of us have been lone wolves for most of our lives. We prefer the company of ourselves. If that's the case with you, it's time to step out of your comfort zone and start communicating and connecting. Ilia says, no. Yeah, it is time. So baby steps, you know, post something on the forum, or, you know, connect with some other individuals. I know that some of you have been meeting in real life when you're traveling, or if you live nearby. So that is really good. So yeah, connect. And like I said, you know, if you don't have someone in your life that you can just be yourself with and share your day with or your week with, get a professional. That's what they're trained for. And it's not necessary that it's not about you having problems and having issues that you have to have therapy for. No, it's just the connection. Okay. So saying that, I thought it would be a really good idea if right now we connect, right? So we do a little exercise. You know, maybe I'll guide it a little bit, but basically we'll just, you know, connect with each other, right? So just relax and make your physical body nice and comfortable, and take a few deep breaths. As you breathe out, just allow your physical body to relax. So you breathe out and you feel all the tensions and worries and low frequencies just falling away from you. And then going to the earth. And for the earth, it's like compost, man. All those minerals and water and everything. It's very transformative. Cleans it up, polishes it up, and turns it to light. So feel into the field that we are by choosing to become part of. Walk with me now. You enter a field of, and a frequency field, an emotional field, a mental field, a connective field that is human, that is soul level, that is high frequency, where you can be yourself, and that means high frequency. You can just relax in this field, just be and allow to be ourselves. Feel how individuals and situations and creations want your attention right now. They're pinging you, send you pings. And you say, hi, you know, cool, that's cool. You exist in my awareness, you exist in this planet. You exist in our collective. And within this beautiful high frequency supported and supportive field of awareness, which is us that work with me now, I want you to become aware of the human collective field of awareness. And it's very busy. There's lots of frequency, there's lots of voices and sounds, situations, experiences happening right now on the planet. And allow it to exist. Just allow it to exist. Knowing that you, yourself, and this group is extremely high frequency and held in that high frequency state. And as we allow the human collective on this planet to be, to exist in our high frequency field, we do by looking at it, by focusing on it, by allowing it to exist, and we've raised its frequency too. Because we are it, we are the human collective on this planet. We own it. It's ours. I hear some of us in this field saying, wake up, people. Look at the sunshine. Look how beautiful this planet is. Like how beautiful our life can be and is. Take a look, see. Wake up, wake up. Have a larger experience of life. Drop all the limitations of low frequency stuff. And that's okay. We can say all that because we are the human collective. And as a human collective, allow ourselves to just let those low frequency experiences, thoughts, memories, and not the memories, but the emotions attached to the memories and the traumas and all those negative low frequency bundles of energies to drop away from us. Just fall off us, fall off the human collective. Fall off this planet. Fall off every other collective that's on this planet. Yep, all of those other collectives have the permission to drop all the negative frequencies from their fields, from their bodies, from their minds, from their emotions, from their energy bodies, physical bodies, environment. And those people who choose not to release it, not to let those drop off, they have the permission to go and have an experience somewhere else. They have permission to go. Knowing that at any time in the future or even present, they choose a higher frequency experience, we will be here. They can join us at a high frequency experience anytime and any space. Take a few deep breaths and become aware of your physical body. As you breathe out, just drop all the tensions away from your physical body and your mind and your emotional body and your ego and your energy body. Just let them fall away as you step back and become fully connected with your physical body, energized, and awake for the rest of the day. Fully new connections, high frequency connections established and here for you, for us, whenever we need them or want to hang out in. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Good job. So the other day, I was listening with Larry podcast. Actually, I don't remember what the podcast was about, but the introduction to the podcast, he says, what was it? I can't remember the first word that he uses. I think it's something like radio host or something like that. You know, I'm such and such radio host and sorcerer. Right, as his labels for career, you know, this is his career, and apparently he has a sorcery school and everything. And know that as a group of individuals, a high frequency group of individuals, and high frequency choice people, right? We are choosing high frequency as people on this planet. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? On this call and in this forum and doing all this work. We do have a lot of power as a group. So one of the things that I want to explore within the next few weeks is sorcery, as in magic, doing magic together. So expect and be aware that we will be doing that in the next few weeks in our weekly exercises and on the forum. I'm going to be putting out some magical works that we can do together. Magic is big. We can do nice things. And also, I'm going to be putting out something for us to look at, that the grooms and brides of Gaia have been putting together, which is a contract of beingness on this planet, and what does it mean when you're a groom or bride of Gaia. So one of the things is pretty much ready. It's not finished yet, but once it's ready, I'm going to start putting out the clauses of this contract as part of our weekly exercise. So the weekly exercise for the next, I don't know how many clauses there are. There's a few. We may have to put 3 or 4 at the same time, otherwise we're going to take a couple of years to finish this. To look at and scan for ourselves and see if there's any improvements we can make to it, or any we like them as they are and stuff like that, right? So we can, like a beta test for a contract with Gaia, which is, you know, part of a lot of our lives. You know, we are very, very connected to Gaia and the planet and the wellness of our species on the planet. So that'll be interesting. So this is what we have looking forward to. We can look forward to magical sorcery and stuff that we're going to be doing as a group to improve and to get this really nice paradigm going at an environmental level and also personal life level. And we're going to be reviewing, looking, focusing on this beautiful, amazing contract that individuals have been putting together. And the group that's putting it together is mostly the individuals who came to the last retreat. But there are some other people from Walk With Me Now who have asked to join, and they're in there too. And the group is, what is it? It's like a WhatsApp group. texts all day long. You wake up in the morning, it's like 300 messages. What? So yeah, it's nothing like, you know. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I don't know how to join. So I was joined in by someone like a couple, 3 weeks ago or something. Somebody sent me. I got a notification, you're now part of this group. It's like, oh, okay. I did not know that I was going to be getting several hundred messages a day. So, anyways, this contract's going to be. I prefer, you know, I really like to discuss things and work with me now too. So I'm trying to pull stuff. It's interesting for me to work with me now. So yeah, we move forward. Some of the things, you know, it's not just about discussion, but this group has worked diligently to connect and to do the Ascension 101 course, the rules of engagement, to be, you know, as staff free as possible as individuals. So it's not just like a hangout with friends, you know, it's really dedicated. So, you know, if you want to join, yeah, you're going to have to review and redo your Ascension 101 course. You're going to have to redo your rules of engagement and the love, sex, and relationships course. And then when you've completed all those, you know, we're going to test you to see how good you did it. And then, yeah. So yeah, because it's that type of commitment, you know. We want locations and we want that engagement to be really high frequency. But definitely the work that we're doing there, and it's not just me. I mean, I've done a very little there actually. I keep not forgetting, but I keep missing the meetings and stuff, you know. But the work that's being done is extraordinary, and we are bringing it into Walk With Me Now to be reviewed and to be checked and scanned and meditated on. Okay, so yeah. It's good stuff. It's, you know, if you're dedicated and you prefer to do all that stuff, absolutely, yeah. Be aware there's gonna be thousands of messages. So those are some of the news, you know, some of the things to do with the portal at the Shaman Shack. We're on the last bits there. There's also a WhatsApp group for the portal. And individuals who are putting focus and attention, funds, and can dedicate time, effort, and everything else towards it, or working together on that. And all the floor Hopi Salmon here, he completed with the help of Xander, who's Kara's husband, and Darren, who's Daniela's husband, and Larry and Ashley, and a little bit myself. I got to hold some strings yesterday, so he was measuring for the pyramid and stuff. So I helped, you know. I've also funded most of it. I received a couple of donations, personal donations, that I have put towards the portal. And a lot of individuals have also sent donations for the portal. And thank you, all of you. Most of you are here, actually. Thank you for that. Very much appreciated. And everything's been spent very diligently, looked after. Everything's really high frequency items that we get. So the pyramid is on its being made right now, and Hope is in charge of that right now. We had some measuring issues, so we're manifesting the right individuals to fix it. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. The what else about that? We have had moments where we're all there and we can feel the temperature dropping quite dramatically, which means the portals open or opening, and then you can almost feel people looking at you, you know. At the moment, it feels like most of the communication, connection, and travel has been an internal, like almost astral experience. I don't think there's been a physical travel yet on the portal, but I know it happens. I know there's other portals around the planet where the physical, we can go there physically. So I'm still, you know, rooting for that and working towards that end. What others news? Okay, I think that's all I can think of. Ilia, do you remember anything else we were going to cover this week or this month?
I think that's pretty much it on the other calls.
Perfect. Okay, let's go for some questions. Did I use up all our time? Did I do that again? I did. Oh my gosh.
I think we have some people who are new on the call, and I'm gonna name Michael. Hi, Michael. And we are now into the questions section, and for that you have to unmute yourselves and ask the question. On the computer is at the bottom left, on devices I think top right, and we have somebody over the phone, and that's *6. And today we have questions only from the live audience because we don't have any questions on the forum. I think it's a first. We have freed ourselves of questions. Yes, hi.
Okay.
Hi. You may have discussed this earlier, maybe, I don't know, regarding the portal in the shaman shack that you're building. What's the reason you're building it, if there is a purpose in particular? Because I'm hearing from many other places about portals, so it's like I'm being drawn to hearing about portals everywhere.
Nice. Yes. So a couple of things. During the event that we had in May, there was a request for us to by the participants to connect with the Lemurians. So we made a kind of a mini portal. It was experiential. It wasn't like, I mean, it was an internal kind of communication thing. It wasn't that we were there physically, but we put the crystals on the ground, and you know, they put the crystals on their end the same way. So we tuned in together, and we were able to communicate very, very, very clearly with each other. And at one point, we were talking about portals and, you know, going to Lemuria. And I think it was Larry that said, well, the closest portal is in Shasta. So I don't really want to have to travel to Shasta to get to a portal. Why can't we have one here, right? And it's like, sure, why not? And this is part of that technology and wisdoms that had been kept secret or hidden from the planet, from the people of the planet, in that, yes, actually, you can create portals anywhere. With the right technology and the right people, you can create a portal anywhere to anywhere. So we started walking around, we started scanning the shaman shack for a location where we could build one. And it wasn't that there was a vortex there or anything, there was nothing there. And that was it. It was because it wasn't being used. Because other parts of the shaman shack, there's portals for the Sasquatch. And other parts are there for us, for the people of that come into the shaman shack. But there was one particular area that was clear. There was nothing being used there. And because it's in the shaman shack, it's high frequency. So we scanned it, and we did some, you know, a couple of individuals did the little, what's that called? Pendulums. And others just with their physical body did vibrational scannings. And we found the perfect spot. And then there's like a doormat, a place where you actually go in, and it's like you can't see it unless you look down on the ground. This little, hope we put little shiny little tiles down there. So you have to look really careful, and you see the shiny tiles, and you know where the welcome mat is, the entry. And then the actual portal, there was some technology involved that they are going to, and they are copying, replicating. And the technology we chose was squares within squares and a pyramid. So we were looking at it, and the squares within squares are made from rock tiles. And there's also a wall. I don't know, have we posted any photos on Walk With Me Now recently? Maybe we haven't. We're gonna do that.
There are some photos. I've seen the squares within squares at least, and the pyramid making shape. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then the pyramid, and then it became into awareness that it looks nearly identical to the Louvre in France, in Paris. So that was really hilarious. Although when you look at the Louvre, it's not done right. It's kind of inverted a little bit. So it's kind of a portal, maybe to low frequency stuff, but you know, portals are portals. So anyways, that was the reason why, because Larry didn't want to travel to Shasta to get into a portal. And the knowledge and wisdoms that yes, you can actually build portals. As human people, we can actually do that anywhere we choose. Is now here and being physically created, right? So it's not a theory, it's literal now. And yeah, basically we decided to go ahead. And one of the funny things that we shared before was that when we decided that, okay, let's do it in the shaman shack. And I said, you know, guys, you're aware that every portal needs a gatekeeper, a portal keeper, right? And it goes, oh yeah, somebody says, oh, we can put dragons in. I said, no. This is not woo-woo creatures. This is an actual person who is a portal keeper. You can't have a portal without a keeper. But I said, don't worry about it, because there must be one in the area. And if there's a portal keeper here, they're going to make themselves known. We don't have to look for them or search for them. They're going to arrive, right? And I didn't know. Maybe somebody was moving in from Canada or whatever. I didn't know what was going to happen, right? And then it was about 3 days or 4 days after the event was over, our mail lady came to the door because she had a package I needed to sign for, which was actually the donation that we're using to build a portal, the big one. And I opened the door to get this envelope and to sign the little machine. And she looks inside, and we still had the crystals on the floor that we had used for the event. It was a whole structure of crystals, beautiful. And she looks at it and she says, oh, you like crystals? And I says, oh yes, we love crystals. And she looks at me and her eyes go a little bit wide and she says, I'm a gatekeeper. And I go, oh, really? So tell me what you mean by gatekeeper. Well, it's, and she looks at me going, shall I tell this person, right? And she said, well, she said, it's like this. I open portals and hold people safely while they travel through them. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It was like, yeah, there you go. There's a portal keeper. And she's been coming to Sunday dinners and she's hilarious. She's a prana healer. She used to do hairdressing. She still does hairdressing. She cut Larry's hair and Daniela's hair the other day, and Ashley's hair the week before. But her main job now is delivering mail because she makes more money and spends less time doing that than she used to do with the hairdressing business, which gives her time for her healing practice. Right? So it was like, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious, right? So, yeah, everything has been working perfectly nice. And the reason and then all the other evidences that have been coming in, with regards to it working, it's been really, really good. Really
So the plan is to go to Lemuria?
Absolutely. That's at a physical level, yes.
On a physical level, wonderful. So I have heard that the place where I'm planning to build my house in close to La Serena is a Palladium portal. So I don't know how to recognize it. I have no idea how they work, but I hope I can learn more about it. So the other thing that somebody told me is that we as humans are portals in our hearts. So is that related to this, or is it a different meaning?
I think it's a different meaning, but there's a lot of humans who can, with the wave of their hands, open portals. What can I tell you? Right. I personally not that talented. Our mail lady is. My brother's a portal opener. He didn't know it. Some portals needed opening, and I got the information. I said, "Hey, bro, I know this sounds weird, but some portals need opening, and can you do it?" They said, "I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. I think you're supposed to stand and go." So he stood there and go, boom! There was a portal right there. He goes, "Whoa! All right then. Guess I'm a portal opener." So yeah. Yeah, I think it's a different meaning. But definitely people are necessary and in very much part of the portal. Very much so. Without the people, you can't have it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do you have other? Hi. Go ahead.
Can I go ahead? So
Yes.
I was from the.
Hi, Joy.
Hi. I've been working with
your name now.
Signals of Power, and
yes.
I love this book. I think it's galvanizing me, and I kind of want to ask. Well, I kind of want to tell you that, but I think it's really powerful. I've been using this one single, make your enemy find peace, because what I wanted was peace with my brother.
Oh, all right.
And what it brought me to, it was intense. It's really intense to use this book. To me, it feels like it's rewiring my brain at a subconscious level.
Perfect.
And so I use the empowerment tools that you've given. I use my emotional charge on it, and it just is almost like electricity. Ooh. But what I found out, I kind of wanted to open up communication between us. But what I feel, and this is kind of my question, what I feel like it's offered me is release and freedom. And him.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Respectful to both of us.
Yeah. Sometimes the best communication is no communication, Joy, especially with a low frequency individual.
Yeah.
Allow that to be that too. Allow him that space to be himself without you pushing high frequency onto him.
Thank you. I need that.
Yeah, and that book, that's one of the ones that had been discussed in one of those WhatsApp groups. I have no idea which one, but it's really amazing. If you haven't got it, maybe we'll post it on the forum.
Yeah.
For people to study it, because it's really one of those gems. It's really cool. And Ray created a chart where there's by name of or by work, they're separating like a tree thing. And maybe he can post that on the same thread so we can have that as a reference point too.
Yeah, I think other people on the forum are going to love that book. It's pretty powerful.
So too. Yeah,
okay.
I think so too.
Thank you.
Hi, Marina. Do you have a question?
Hey, do you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I want to actually say that I want to create, well, I'm working on a website starting from next week on high frequency news. So I was actually thinking if we can all, if people have ideas for high frequency news, to share it, maybe on Walk With Me Now or a WhatsApp group, I don't know. And then share it and we can use it, because I think it would be really great to have high frequency news. And it can be like Gaia news or planetary news or astral news, I don't know, all kinds of sections. And also, actually, I would like to know if people know something specific about trees. Yeah, that's my question.
That's brilliant. I can hear you. I'm
Yeah.
just plugging in my iPad. That is brilliant. Oh, I knocked it over, didn't I? Am I back?
Hey.
That is really good. Well done. I can't wait to see it. And yeah, absolutely. There is a newsletter I used to get. I can't remember the name of it. I think Larry still gets it. That's exactly what it is. They scan the world for excellent news and send you those every day, I think, or every week. I can't remember. So yeah, absolutely. I think this movement of stepping away from the nasty stuff and stepping into the good news stuff, not from a religious viewpoint, but from actual humane and humanity viewpoint, is excellent. The other thing that my son-in-law told me to do was to change my default search engine on my phone, my devices, and my computers. And I'm going to give you the one that is actually better, because apparently Google, and I think Yahoo as well, I can't remember what others, are censoring a lot of good news and censoring all the anti-vaccination information, and also some other ones. News. Oh, I didn't quite read that. Is that your website? Let me just see what search engine he said to put it on. So, okay, so it's called DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, I'm using that
D-U-C-K Go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I use it.
This is better because they're not censoring the good news. They're not censoring the factual data and things, information that we need to be aware of. And they're not just putting a whole bunch of nasty stuff for us to wake up to every day.
Yeah, I use that one. I also know that there must be many people already using or having high frequency news out there. But I think it's like we have the news on 10 different channels, you know.
The more the merrier. Yes,
the more the merrier.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and everybody has their own,
Yeah, you know, in the forum, there's a category called projects, I think. And it's projects that you have or you're doing that you'd like to invite others to collaborate with. I think that posting it there would be perfect. It would be perfect.
Thank you.
We know the link, we know, what type of stuff that you're looking for and everything else.
Thank you. Yeah, will do.
Thank you, Marina.
Thank you. I'm sorry. My name is actually Marijn, but it says Marina. I have to still change that.
Marijn. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll do that.
And now I recognize it because I was a bit confused by the name. Okay, so we have a question on the chat from Michael, and he wants to ask Inelia if you know of if there is any portal on Lagos, Portugal.
I haven't been, so I can't tell you. I don't know. I'm sorry. I haven't been there, so I don't have any knowledge or awareness of a portal in Portugal. Highly likely that there's many portals in Portugal, but I don't know where they are, or who's the keeper, or who runs them, or where do they go. Ooh, another interesting little factoid about our portal. Our gatekeeper told us that this is, she said, okay, so here's the thing. She said, this portal is like, be aware that where you're going, because she knows nothing about the Lemurians. Where you're going, those individuals on the other side, that people on the other side, are galactic. They have portals to all over the galaxies, right? Like the universe, maybe not just this galaxy, but they have portals to all over the place. So once you get through, you have access to the entire cosmos. So this is like the first door to many doors. Now it's like, whoa, I hadn't thought about that, but it makes a lot of sense. Many years ago, when we were looking at the Global Ascension Center, which we still have, and we're looking at discussing what to do with, because we haven't had the individuals come forward to volunteer to take care of it at a legal level, and also physically. So we may have to release the Global Ascension Center. I was actually telling Larry, well, we can buy it from the Global Ascension Center and then dissolve the charity, the non-profit is not charity, it's a non-profit, and give the funds to another non-profit that's doing good works on the planet. So we might actually do that. But anyways, many years ago, 2011, yeah, when I first saw the Global Ascension Center, and then I saw this portal, and I knew it had to do with Lemurians, and I could see these pillars, 4 pillars things, and I couldn't quite figure out the exact thing, but now I can see it at the shaman shack, right? And what really surprised me and confused me at the time was that I saw the Lemurians, like, and I kind of smiled, waved, and then I saw these other humanoid species behind them, right? I saw Greys, I saw Palladians, I saw Styrians, I saw different types of, like, the reptilians, and they're all high frequency, but they were like kind of coming in through behind the Lemurians, and I'm like, I don't understand, but okay. And now when our gatekeeper said that a couple of weeks ago, when she said it, and I thought, oh my God, now it makes total sense. If this is just the one key and the one portal to get us there, once we're there, we can travel the universe and connect with lots of different collectives and species around the universe at a high frequency way, because I can assure you, the Lemurians are high frequency. So they wouldn't have any friendly relationships or connections with low frequency beings. That's why they separated from our reality in the first place, right? They didn't want to partake in that. And I don't know if you've wondered, but the Lemurians are human. They're just like us. They just did not choose the low frequency game. That's all. That's the only difference. That's the only difference.
This is so exciting because it means that so-called evolution, if you want to call it like that, is very non-linear. It's like you hit a threshold and then the entire universe opens up, not just the other side of the planet or just the solar system. Like once you manage to open a portal to Lemuria, then you pretty much open a portal everywhere else once you manage to make that stable. So, exciting time.
Another thing to remember is that at a social level, you might feel, oh my God, this is so woo-woo. This is way too much, dude. You know, it's like, oh my God, we're building portals now. What with me now? Are you kidding me? we're going to go to Lemuria. Oh my God, Lemurians don't even exist. How do I know they exist? You know, it's like you might be feeling that it's like total woo-woo, and it's like we're going crazy here. But figure it out this way, because I'm not that type of person to do that. When before cell phones were invented, right? They were on Star Trek, the original series. They had a little click, you know, and they were like talking to these little communication devices. And they were science fiction. That was never gonna happen, man. Ever, ever, ever. Never gonna happen. It was total woo-woo science fiction, fantasy, you know, they're just never gonna happen. Ding, 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 ding. Right? Not only that, but when I started on my computer career, because I have a computer career background, the first computer I had 64 bytes.
Right. Kilobytes.
64 bytes. Not gigabytes, not megabytes, not any bytes, just bytes, right? And when I used to do the networking, because I was an official certified network administrator, we used to go into these computers, the large servers, right, that had maybe, I don't know, 1,000 bytes, 1 megabyte, right? They were in a room that felt like a football field full of machines and AC units everywhere because it got so hot. It was massive, massive, right? And I think this machine, I'm holding in my hand, has 500 megabytes now. How did that happen?
It has 1 million times and more the capacity of that.
Right?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
How did that happen?
And in a short time frame too.
I don't know. In my own lifetime, I walked into a room with a 1 megabyte computer that was the size of a football field, and it needed all these AC units. I had to wear coats and everything to get in there, right? To this, right? So the people and us then would have said, oh, "That's totally woo-woo, man. That's never gonna happen." So having learned that lesson, when I'm getting information and data from everywhere that yes, portals are real, we can walk through them, we're going to go to Lemuria and then we're going to go out into space, I'm going to hold it. I'm not going to say that's woo-woo. I'm not going to say that's not going to happen because I've learned my lesson. Right? If we don't try, we're getting annoyed immediately. If we don't build it, it's not going to happen, guaranteed. But if we build it, you know what? It might. It might.
I imagine there was
100% sure the telepathic communication, when they turn up, is zooped up. So even at that level, it's already real. It's, you can totally feel them and hear them. But now, you know, we had a little incident with the bell, the crystal bell that we have. It's a pyramid. That we were on the doorway of it, and it started singing by itself. And oh my God, that thing is so hard to keep singing. Just you have to bang it all the time, you know, and on so it sings, you know. It was just started singing by itself. Nobody had even touched it. So these little signs and items that say, yes, you're not imagining this is real, right? So there's zero chance I'm gonna not try to build this physical portal to Lemuria that takes us into the universe. Absolutely. And the other day, we're having a conversation at the Shaman Shack. We have some amazing conversations at the Shaman Shack. And Hopi said, oh, you know, he's really interested in what Franco de Nicola is doing right now. I think it's awesome and everybody should pay attention. And I think it's life-changing and, you know, historical and all this and this and the other. And I was looking at him going, Hopi, you're building an ultra-dimensional portal, probably the first one on being built on this planet, maybe? You know, you're going to go down on history, man, for being the energy and the main architect of this portal. And you're talking about this other person? And he was like, I'm probably making him shy now, but it was like, that's how it is. We are ordinary people doing extraordinary things these days, right? We really, really are. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, work with me now has gone totally woo-woo, just step and think about those computers. And if we have a no already, that's fine. We have a no. But let's try and get that yes. Let's try and build this from a massive room full of computers, right? Let's go for it. I think that it's totally, totally doable.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Sorry. Sorry, I interrupted you. Hi, Inelia. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Angelica.
So I take this chance to ask because I'm with the children and this is the only 5 minutes I have to ask.
Okay.
So I ask now. So this time lately, it has been a time of a lot of changes. For me, because my working contract is about to finish in September, so I was searching for a new job, and yeah, so in general, many things about to change after 6 years of working on the same thing, and I'm going to change. But then I noticed that a city, New York, starting to pop up from everywhere. So like companies that have a perfect job for me there, and even my son was learning in the school about New York, and then this New York son, and this New York souvenir, and New York. So I started to consider, because we live in Germany and with the whole family, and we are established here, so it's such a big change that I wouldn't even consider. And yeah, so and we feel quite good here in Germany. But my question was that if you had any experience like with a city or a place calling you, and what could this mean? Because I kind of consider it. I know it maybe it's not now, but in the future. So I started to open up to the idea, and my husband was like, yeah, why not? Maybe. So it was quite cool. But I just want to know your opinion about your experience.
Sure. Well, my experience has been, and what I have seen happen with high frequency individuals, is that the planet, Gaia, and the human collective wants you everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, right? If, you know, you name a continent, and there's like dozens and dozens and dozens of places in that continent that really wants you there. So the way to go forward would be, do I like it, right? Do I like the New York lifestyle? Is it something that, you know, supports me and I support it? How can I support the city? And the work, you know, how supportive is it for us as a family? Because I can assure you, today is New York, tomorrow will be Madrid, the day after will be Paris or whatever, you know, Washington. It does, you know, it's gonna happen because you're a high frequency being. It's through transition. So the human collective is putting their bids in, right?
Okay.
The human collective and Gaia are putting their bids in. Hey, over here, over here. No, over here, over here. So be prepared, and the world is your oyster. You can go wherever you want.
Yeah, but it's interesting that it pops up in this moment. So
oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh,
and it was the same. So it was the same like 6 years ago when we came here. It was so like 7 years ago. We were traveling along Germany, and then we got stuck in the city by chance. By chance. It was like, okay, 2 hours here. What do we do? Well, let's see. And then after I got this job. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Brilliant. Yeah. Enjoy the search.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi.
Can I say something?
Sure,
Hello.
go ahead.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi, Inelia. This is related to everything, actually. Calling and standing up, not being the lone wolf. So I will share something because I'm not really sure what it does mean. But I had actually forgotten about it until we were talking about the portals and feeling cold and everything. But I had been on a dive this summer. And it was a very strange one. I'd never been on a dive like this before. And there was a lot of emotion going along. Two dive boats had gotten together and they were fighting and everything. And I didn't really feel good with the people that we were diving with, but I felt that I really wanted to go to this place. Something was calling me there, and it was very strange. And I didn't remember the dive until now. The island is it's called Zeus Island. So they have that temple up there, and lots of different religions have gone through. And as we were swimming around the island, there was a lot of current, and suddenly a rush of really cold, icy water, like a tunnel of water. And after that tunnel, there was almost as if, and I thought for one moment, am I swimming through oil? I didn't swim through oil because I didn't have oil all over my body, but the colors, it's like when you're looking at water and oil together, that weird combination. So that happened, and I was like, wow, I've never been through this feeling before. And I looked at everybody and I was like, cold. And they were like, you have a wetsuit. So I was the only one who was going through this. And then there was the guide that was taking us. And for a moment, he looked panicked and he started to swim really fast towards me. And he swam past me and he looked over the edge. And then he looked back a little bit like panicked in his eyes. And then he saw me and then he relaxed. And he was like, there you are. I'm like, but I'm, like, are you mad? And then throughout the whole dive, they kept asking us, how much air do you have? How much air do you have? How much air do you have? And he kept asking me, and I'm like, it's broken, because I had a full tank the whole dive. And afterwards, I was like, your gear, it's a full tank. And I know I use air. Right. I get excited when I look at things. And so it was a very weird dive. And at the end of it, I didn't see anything beyond that, but it seemed strange. And so when you mentioned with the cold, because it was really like ice water, could it be, are there places that exist that are, could you swim through one and sort of disappear and then come back and not even know that you have?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like you went through something, right? You went through a portal because he didn't see you. You were not there.
I originally didn't want to go on that dive, but it was somehow like the feast day of that island was my birthday, and the saint that they are, it was Greek Orthodox or something, but I don't really know what their saints are. But that saint, her saint's day was the July 2, which is my birthday, and then her first name, my first name is Maria Bettina, and the saint was Maria. So I was like, it's calling me. So I went, and there you go. So that's it. And I don't know what it was, and if it was an experience at all or just a really strange dive. But as with Eli, we were talking about, why are you staying silent and being hidden? And you had said, stand up and be seen. So here I am. Hi.
Yay! Hi,
Good
Bettina.
job.
Hi.
That's amazing. It sounds like you went through a portal. And absolutely, there's portals all over the place. There definitely are. They're not like to different locations, right? But even Lemurians, there's the one in Shasta, there's one in Barcelona that I know of, and I know there's another one in Hawaii, in Kauai. Some friends told me that it was in the backyard. And they keep it like a secret, and it's a sacred location for the native people there. So yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like all the signs, the cold, and then the strange colors, and did you hear any cracks by any chance? Any loud noises?
Not so much.
No, okay.
Hearing, I don't. I'm more visual anyway. I don't. I do sometimes hear bells in places like that I think maybe that somebody's put a chime up in, but I can't see it.
There's
so
no
that
chimes. Yeah.
So, but not there. That it was just very visual and temperature. So I don't know. But it was a very strange, and I had completely forgotten about it, except for the gear. I thought, what, you've given me a faulty. I can't. What if I run out of air? But
isn't that funny though? Isn't that funny that you forget about it until you start talking about things like this? And whoa, wait! I had one of those experiences, right?
Yes,
that is really telling too. Very
I have
telling.
to say it now because I maybe won't remember it tomorrow.
Right, exactly, yes. So that's one of the interesting things. One of the clauses that we have about this portal is that we will remember. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that at least 20 years ago, 30 years ago, wait, more like 40 years ago and 50 years ago, people were going in and out of at least the one in Shasta and remembering everything. The forgetfulness wasn't part of it at the time. People did not forget, right? But now they do, and I know we did when we went to the Barcelona one. We all forgot what happened, but there was all the physical manifestations of it, evidence. So yeah, with regards to the forgetting part, definitely we want this one to be one of those where we do not forget. So we'll see.
It's super interesting in Bettina's story, the part with the gear being present, which kind of act as an anchor to remember it later. And it made me think of the movie First Contact with Jodie Foster. I don't know how many of you have seen it. And she has that super awesome experience, and then it ends with her in Congress being totally debunked and destroyed by the science community. But the movie ends with the commission saying, like, you have a tape that's mangled up and nothing to be seen. But then but we have 16 hours of recording on that tape that took place in one free fall. So, and then the movie ends. So it was super, super nice done. And, in the same way, had a full tank after swimming around, or so it seemed.
Right.
So,
yeah. There's little
like
things.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, little things.
Yeah, there's little evidences. Yeah. When we went in the one in Barcelona, Larry came back with his phone. It was on airplane mode, and it was in several hours later. Like it should have said like, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it said 11 p.m. on it. So yeah, and then it changed back to 4 in front of our eyes, even though it was still on airplane mode. So that was one of the physical evidences.
I'm sorry, I just have to say, and I completely forgot, but now that you say that, we had left for the dive. We'd met up at 9:15 in the morning. We only went on 2 dives, but I actually came back to our rental. I was alone. My son had said, no, I don't want to dive anymore. And he went, we dropped him off and went back. And then we were, I think, from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and it was only 40 minutes we were in the water. So I don't know what we were doing that whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inelia, I have another story.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
And hi. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I think that a portal was created last year, just on the spot type of it was needed. And I was on a hilltop, taking a walk with a friend. So there was a guy and a gal with me, and his dog had been out chasing the community sheep. And so a man showed up with his rifle rifle over his shoulder saying, "I'm going to kill your dog." Even though the dog wasn't harming the sheep, he was chasing them, which could have hurt them, I guess. But anyway, so this man takes off going to find this dog. And my friend who owned the dog went with him. So these two guys are out searching the hillsides, right? And I get up to go as well. And then, you know, I was like, "Jess, what are you doing? You know, you don't even know these hillsides. You don't, just stop. There's something else you can do." And so I, you know, and I don't normally listen to myself. So it was kind of like, "Oh, okay." So I like sat down and, and I just closed my eyes and I just somehow opened space. I opened myself up to the possibility that the dog will just come here. It's safe here. Just come here, you know? And I just started saying the dog's name. And all of a sudden, the dog ended up right next to me. And my girlfriend, I said, "Catch the dog, you know, hold on to it." And so I stood up then and started, like, I mean, I didn't know what happened, but I think that I created that portal for the dog to hop in. I mean, my mind or what I was told was that it opened up wherever the dog was, and the dog stepped in it and came to where we were. And, you know, then of course I was trying to hail my friend, the dog owner, you know, "Come, we have your dog," right? Because he's like terrified. This man is hunting his dog with a rifle. So anyway, that was that, and it was amazing, totally amazing.
Yeah, wow, good job. So we have a portal opener right here with us today. That's amazing.
And creators, so they can be created anywhere at any time they're needed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really important for me to see that part of it too.
That's fantastic.
Anytime, anywhere. So, you know, your Lemurian portal is just like super amazing to me. So I'm really anxious to learn more about it. Totally in support of it.
Nice.
And whatever I can do to help as well.
Obviously, you're gonna have to be there.
Well, obviously, we don't have to be anywhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
These physical limitations
are not limitations, really. Yeah. That's really cool.
So thank you everybody for like participating in that. It's awesome.
Good job. Good skill to have, man.
And I'm just going to mention that also was in Scotland, and it was, you know, just on some common land up there. So it wasn't like anybody's place or anything.
Wow. When did you go to Scotland?
I went last year for the solstice.
Oh my God, I had no idea. Good job.
I know. I forget about it too.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jessie.
Cosmin had asked on the chat, looking on portals, if a gatekeeper is the same as a portal opener.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, they can do both things, you know.
Mm. Okay. Do we have other questions from the live audience?
Yeah, I still have one question. Yes, sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Inelia. Thank you for questioning the previous question. Another question I posed also on the chat can be like, I don't know, portals in a sleep mode looking for the right person to open or looking for the right gatekeeper, but they're in a sleeping, I don't know, sleeping mode, something like this. They're not in a power. They're just looking for someone to be open or reopen. Can have.
Do you mean if there's a portal that was built some time ago? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And then it was abandoned?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that can happen.
That can happen. Okay.
That can happen.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing I got from Cosmin's question, which I think is perhaps interesting, is there are portals that are closed, but they can be opened by a specific person or frequency. I guess the answer would be yes, because there are portals to low frequency experience or to high frequency experiences.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Would like to talk a bit about Second Life and how that can be used as a tool and to develop what kind of skills. And I ask that because I've seen it a lot showing up on the forum recently. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, guess what? There's a WhatsApp for the Second Life. Walk with me now, members.
Okay, so join the WhatsApp group.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the questions have been answered. If you take the time and effort to read through the threads that are informative, they cover just about everything on there. And there's links to tutorials, and there's a lot of information there.
Okay, let me rephrase the question, because I wasn't necessarily talking about the technical aspects of Second Life, but mostly to an answer you gave to, I think, Little Lightseed, which was of all the tools that you can use Second Life for, you got the most important one, which was to see you as an avatar, kind of controlling the character experience that you're having in so-called reality. And that was really neat and something that you get really easily once you join a virtual reality game of any kind of nature. But they said that was one of the tools, and I guess I was curious, what are the other things or skills that you can learn and develop from Second Life?
Right, right. So yeah, so
one
of the benefits you can have definitely is that suddenly you realize, like, viscerally know that this that you're walking through is a virtual reality game, right? You really know it then. It's not like a theory anymore, right? And then the other one, yeah, absolutely, it's like a vision board. I've used it as a vision board to manifest things, but also I have used it, and it's one of the results is why there's so much attention on it right now, to push my boundaries out, become more suited, more, I don't know, different, It's like many years ago, for example, I got the guidance to do personal sessions, and I was like, I don't think so, but it was like a very strong guidance to do personal sessions, and I felt very uncomfortable about it. So what I did was I went into Second Life and I set up a consultation, and I would do sessions for people, oneness sessions in Second Life. And I created some meditation pyramids with lights and flow of energies, and the person would sit in one and I would sit in one, or there was one where we both sit together and it would turn while they were having their session. And then after I did that for a while, I pushed my comfort zone out enough to do it in real life. And then I did sessions, oneness sessions with people in real life. So it was interesting, it's like, it was fascinating, and also learning from other individuals and allowing myself to be seen was a big one, right? Huge in life, right? Before, part of the process of becoming public is that you have to allow yourself to be seen. And I did not like that. I didn't want to be seen. So I practiced in Second Life And I went to events and I would just sit there quietly, but allow my avatar to be seen in these groups. And more than one of the light workers that were doing stuff in Second Life at the time would message me personally, say, who and what are you? Right? And I can see you, and I don't know what I'm seeing, but it's big. So who and what are you? And I would like, at first I would just, you know, log off.
Sign off, yeah.
Sign off, you know, because it's like, yeah, I need to be seen, but I'm not comfortable with it, so I'll just sign off. And then I started kind of responding who I was, right? Who I am. So it was like pushing boundaries of comfort, and also like testing out different things, you know. I mentioned several times that Larry and I looked at a house there when things were blocked here in the res. I took out a Google picture of the map here of the property. I put it on Second Life and I put a house on it. And then everything started moving in real life. And there's lots of examples that way too. And other people use it that way too. I know a few individuals who do decorate a room in Second Life and then they do it in real life the same way, right? Or they purchase items in Second Life, they love them, they're beautiful items, and then they create them in real life. So it's like, it can be used in many, many ways, but mostly I think what's happening, and the one that I've been doing recently, is to step out of the lone wolf. That's the one I've been using and working with the past month or two, to step out of the lone wolf. So I did something that was pushing my boundaries, and it was basically to allow people into my field of attention. And not just us, not just the Walk With Me Now individuals, because I'm very comfortable at Walk With Me Now, you know, high frequency individuals, excellent discussions. Who wouldn't be comfortable there, right? I feel very comfortable. I can be myself, and I love to interact and have connections. But even especially with these books and the second book that's coming out now and the books that came out before, they were meant to be the bridge between the masses and the information that we're here to put out, right? So, and that's what wasn't working. And it's like, I know why. I don't want to be seen, you know. It's like I have that program running, and I don't want their energy field and their attention on my field, because it happens. So what I did was I reclaimed a lot of the land that we had put in for the shaman shack, because nobody was using it except for Kat and Aaron and Kara, and they were using their own spots, and not the rest of the stuff wasn't being used. So I reclaimed all that, and I put lots of properties for rent, and I called the rental company Sacred Grove Rentals, right? So it's okay, this is my engagement. It's going to be high frequency, it's going to be sacred spaces, you know, and it's open to the public. So it was the intent, and I didn't know if anybody was going to rent or not. It didn't really matter. It was pushing my own comfort zone. Boom, 2 weeks later, like, half Walk With Me Now, it's in Second Life, right? I'm like, what happened? Well, I know what happened. I was pushing like this, my boundaries out, to allow individuals to come into my field of attention at a more physical level, and this is what the result is. So, and yeah, there's people who are renting who I don't know who they are, but their profiles are super nice and they're nice people, right? So yeah, it's one of these things, you know. We can use them in many different ways. Obviously, it's an open program. I left for many, many years because it didn't have any type of split, right? It was all anywhere, and it was, most of the people went there to do pornography and to sell pornography and prostitution and to do all sorts of weird sexual things, like bestiology, and I don't know if that's a name, but it's a thing with animals, and also slavery and all these type of things. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it got so bad that you couldn't walk down the street. You open your window in your little house in Second Life and you can see a giant penis looking at you, you know, like from next door. So it's like, I don't think so. So I left it for many, many years. I thought it's not the right frequency and done. So, and then I got an email about 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe more. I can't remember when it was. It was several years ago now, saying that they had changed the rules and they had split the sims into the regions into general, which was completely PG, moderate, which was, yes, you can have adult items, but behind locked doors so you can't see them from the street. And then adult, which is what it used to be, open for everything, right? And I thought, wow, I'm going to check it out. So I went in and it was awesome. I loved it. And I thought, now I can, you know, open my windows in my little house or a big house or whatever, and there's no giant penises and vaginas everywhere. It's great, right? So that's what I've been, and I went back, you know, and I took it back up and everything. And everything has been evolving since, and I started using it as tools, manifestation tools, but also trying new things, pushing boundaries. And there's things, you know, I've tried certain things that I decided, you know what, I don't like this, and I stopped, and I didn't have to try it in real life because it was easier to try it there, right? So yeah, it's been a real nice, interesting process. Very interesting. There's a crow.
Yes.
They are saying, yeah, it's very interesting. So, and absolutely, you know, if you don't like it, you don't want it, you don't like computer screens or whatever, it's fine. We have so many other tools. We have Walk With Me Now forum. We have other ways to connect. You know, you have vision boards. I've explained about feeling boards, vision boards, and the mixture. We have tons of stuff you can do. Lots and lots of things.
Okay. Thank you for answering that. I'm sure a lot of people find it useful. And in case that's not enough, Brenda says that you can also learn to decorate. So.
She's doing great.
Right. So, all sorts of skills you can practice there. So.
Yes.
Okay. So unless we have other questions, we're getting closer to 2 hours. We may close the call. Any other questions? No.
I think we're good.
Okay, so I'm going to open the line, so we say goodbye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Great.
Bye. Good to see everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Favorite part.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.